For Halloween lovers, the wait is finally over as we now have the 2025 Halloween tanks, and in this video we'll be reviewing the Cold War Era 2 Western Alliance Tank Destroyer Arcane Cannon. It is a charioteer reskin featuring a solid primary gun as well as a beautiful ATGM as well. It equipped the multi-weapon system, and do keep in mind this tank is a bottom tier as it costs 10,000 gold, but it doesn't behave or feel like a bottom tier. A very solid tank as well for a decent price. And to be honest, the skin looks pretty nice. I like this skin. It does feel like a Winterfest skin as well, or the theme looks like that, but you can say it fits the Halloween theme as well. So let's get started with the setup. Since it's a TD, I'm going with the concealment as well as gun skills. For equipment, going with loader, advanced concealment, silent driving, and flash hider. For consumable, using large repair kit, enhanced smoke screen, and hull patch kit. For my commander, I'm using Bond Leader, Snapshot, Run and Gun, Off-Road Driving, Camouflage Expertise, Radio Jamming, Comms Expert, Supply Conservation, and Pain Tolerance. Supply Conservation is very important when you have a large consumable with long cooldown time, and Pain Tolerance because I'm not using the med kit. Looking at the armor viewer, it is charioteer, so there's no armor. You're not gonna bounce anything. Even the auto cannon is gonna shred you. You have to make sure you have someone supporting you. Good thing is now there's no more proxy tanks, or the tanks don't get invisible after 5 seconds. So this, you can see them coming and adjust accordingly, but if they do get close, you will get deleted as there is no armor. A little bit of armor panel here and there. 46 over on the front side. And then you have this some spaced armor, which might give you some lucky bounces, but let's be honest, it's charioteer. It's not going to bounce anything. For modules, we have engine and fuel tank in the back, ammo rack middle of the hull and on the turret, 4 crew members, 2 in the turret and 2 in the hull. Going over the stats are beautiful, and that's why I said the tank doesn't look like a bottom tier at all. Very capable tank. The only thing that makes it weak is, first, it doesn't have armor, so Weasel or someone can just destroy you. Second, the alpha isn't that great. For standard or primary cannon, it is only 360 as opposed to 460, 440. The alpha that the top tier tank has. But again, it is a bottom tier, and it also has multi-weapon system, and the ATGM minimum arming is only 65. So going over the stats: forward 64, reverse 26, power to weight 24, hit points of 2400, terrain resistance 0.49, 0.5, so essentially same for firm and medium, and 1.08 for soft. Concealment for my setup, it's 261 stationary, 295 moving, 36 degrees of hull rotation. Accuracy during rotation 1.12. It is decent, especially after the changes and considering it cannot mount stabilizer. Gun depression of 10 degrees, elevation 20, reload time 5.52, so solid reload. Accuracy of 0.27, accuracy during movement 1.6, so don't shoot while moving because you're not going to hit anything. 1.8 second of aim time, 65 ammo capacity, so a lot of shells. Standard is AP, premium is APCR. The shell velocity is also lower than your typical Era 2 tanks, but that's also because they're balancing it as it's a bottom tier. DPM of 3900 on the primary gun with the 389 standard pen, 446 premium, and 100 HE pen. Alpha is 360 for standard premium and 474 HE, and module damage of 150 for standard premium and 134 HE. Shell velocity 1265 for AP, not bad for an AP shell, and 1324 APCR, a bit slow for Era 2 standards. For our secondary weapon, reload time of 20 seconds, does feel long, not that bad. It is a rocket or missile ATGM, you can guide it. Has a penetration of 800, alpha of 900, and DPM of 2980 times. So if you combine the DPM, that's close to 6000 DPM in this bad boy. So beautiful tank. Not OP, but not bad either. I would say it's strong for considering it's bottom tier. And also has the minimum arming distance of 65 meters as mentioned above, not 165. And difference between 65 and 100 is huge. You can destroy a lot more tanks. The opportunity presents yourself more. For premium bonus, we have 65% silver run rate, 10% premium vehicle run rate, and 10% commander run rate. Looking at the stats and playing this tank, I would say, as I said, the tank is balanced. It's not super strong. It isn't big. It can't just run around. but at the same time, for a bottom tier that costs 10k gold, it's strong as well comparing to other bottom tier tanks like T62, or some tanks that only have primary gun that are bottom tier and doesn't even have the multi-weapon system. So let's take this in the battlefield and see how it feels. How does the skin look like? I am on Hell's Highway, and to be honest, can you really say it's Halloween unless you're playing a map where you can barely see anything? Well, that's the Halloween spirit, and also the reason that we can play this map in Cold War. Otherwise, the map is not available as part of regular map rotation for Cold War, as you can do spawn to spawn sniping. Getting back to the battle, I am running Smoke and Hull Patch Kit. Hull Patch Kit is a mandatory for any Cold War tank, and Smoke, so that if I'm getting YOLOs and I don't have armor, I can block them. Of course, it doesn't provide any active camo boost, but I can still shield them and can get unspotted a little bit sooner. The tank doesn't have the gun stabilizer as its TD, but still respectable gun handling even after the nerf. And there's the first pan and the missile going towards the Sheridan, and he is gone. 1254 damage and 680 alpha with my first shell and 80 DM, and as you can see, the accuracy is pretty decent. One thing to keep in mind when you're in the dark map, that as soon as you're loaded, you get the animation on your tank that the 80 GM is loaded, and opponents can see that very clearly. They might not be able to see the tank because the lightning is so dark, but they can see that animation that's happening right now on my tank. It's very clearly visible, and you can get shot. You might think they can't see because they're so far and you're not lit up, but they can. So 2200 damage. Our team is pushing aggressively on both sides. I'm also using the radio jamming and combat expert perk, so I keep the opponent spotter longer and lose my spot sooner. Sheridan finally got a shot at me, but my 80 GM is chasing him, and there it is. 910. The 80 GM is just beautiful. 65 meters 80 GM as a secondary weapon on a bottom tier tank. Usually top tier tanks like Bagel, they get the 65 meter minimum arming distance, and even Martyr has 100, and 100 can get tricky, especially playing corner, or if you're playing a little bit passive. But not for this tank, not a problem for this tank. Arcane cannon. The skin is beautiful as well. Looking for the opportunity, 3800 damage. Our team is dominating, and you can see I can effectively snipe. I am a TD that can play TD role effectively. I shouldn't be too aggressive because the turret rotation is slow and you can get jumped, especially early on when there are too many light tanks running around, or tanks with auto cannons. 272, I'm backing up, trying to find a shot. Difficult, missed, just closing in distance as our team is just destroying the enemies. They don't have a chance, and I only have 3800 damage so far. Nice shot into Gao's turret, and there's a Magaj hiding. He thought he's safe from my team, but he's not safe from me. And another, the missile just dipped there. Beautiful fire. Is down to one shot. Well, definitely down to one shot. And that's one of the things that I sometimes get taken by, because I know the alpha is low, it's only 360, but I'm used to 450 plus alpha. 5700 damage, and we have the boot or XM800T coming in, and he is dangerous for my tank. Try to shoot him, unfortunately missed, but I did end up tracking him, slowed him down, and my ATGM was ready. Bang! A nice shot into the light tank. He learned his lesson. You know, he thought he could just rush the new tank, kill, because these new tanks, they are cursed with getting YOLO'd more than a regular tank. But he thought he could take out the Arcane cannon. Well, no sir, you can't. And just before I was about to shoot him, my teammate came to my rescue, which I didn't need to rescue, but it took the kill, and that was it. So do let me know in the comments, what do you think about this tank? I think this tank is actually better than the World War II version. That didn't seem that more fun. And you can always wait for next year, because eventually the tank will be earnable as part of Halloween earn-off that happened, and this time I earned my Monster Jagger. So let me know in the comments what you think about the tank. If you're going to buy it, you like it. Awaken mode, in Awaken mode it gets like different consumable with different powers. If you want to check that out, we'll have a video later. So I'll catch you next. Have a great rest of your day.